Hello, hello, everybody. How are you doing, Dima?
I am doing very well. What about you?
It's good to see you. Even though it was like a week ago, it feels like it's been about 3 weeks since I've seen you last.
I agree. I agree. It feels that so much happened in the last week.
So
Uh,
much.
yeah. I can't believe we're in the middle of September. You and I, we started this in March. Can you imagine? 6 months. 6 months of chit-chatting.
Just talking, just friends talking. That's all it is.
Yes, yes.
Oh, I mean, I don't. When I think about it, I don't know that I would have thought we would have had like almost 50 shows this far into the game or this fast. So it's going pretty quick. It's been a
Yeah,
whirlwind. And don't we keep saying every week it's been like, man, it feels like it's been a while, or with
yeah.
everything going on, it's like every week something else, something else.
Yeah. And every week, we would say this was our favorite guest. This was our favorite talk. And now we're ready for our favorite guest for today.
I love it. This one's kind of special. This one's a friend of mine, and I've known him since college. He's been a great friend, and I've always really looked up to and admired Brandon. I call him B, so let's bring him on. Some of you might even know him as Mr. Singleton. Come on, Brandon, come and join us. How you doing, buddy?
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Good to see you. I know I'm doing the best I can. Dima, how are you doing?
Yeah, surviving.
That's
We're
right.
I'm okay. I'm okay to just survive right now. It's okay.
Yes, yes, yes. Just keep pushing forward. That's what the name of the game is, right?
Yes.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Awesome.
So Brandon, all right, we got you on the show, man. This is awesome. You're a close personal friend of mine. Dima got to meet you backstage, but for people who don't know, maybe you're watching Chit Chat Live right now. Tell us a little bit about you, my friend.
Well, I am from small town, Opelousas, born and raised there, went on to Baton Rouge for college and had a great experience and decided to move back home and start my wonderful career as an educator, where I've remained primarily in the Acadiana area. Worked in a little bit in Lafayette Parish, but primarily most of my career in St. Landry Parish. I am a new father, have a wonderful 8-month-old, great little BJ, and loving wearing this new hat, enjoying life with the love of my life, Miss Krista and Lena. We're wonderful and growing and transitioning. So thanks to them for always supporting me and being there. But that's me in a nutshell. I'm gonna
get down on a whole bunch, man.
I'm gonna claim that I'm gonna be the all-time favorite guest. I heard that skill that you guys talking about there.
I think that's what we have going for us already. So yes. I mean, look, you've got 14, 15 people already interested, and look, you're coming at us. You skipped out on a whole bunch, but let's fast forward just a tad bit. You come to us tonight as a person on the front lines, right? You are technically on the front lines of something very important that we are all, for the most part, dealing with. But we're talking about education.
Right.
We're talking about education. You are a principal of an elementary school.
Yes, I am the principal at Grolee Elementary. This is my 4th year as principal at Grolee. Starting my 14th year as an educator. Wow. So I joined the ranks of administration early on, moving up to an AP after 5 years in the classroom. But the first time I stepped in the classroom, I knew that was my trajectory. I knew I wanted to be a school level leader and possibly beyond that. But yes, we are on the front lines in these very trying times and trying to adapt and create the roadmap, because there's no map that we can pull to follow to get forward. So we're literally trying to create our steps as we go along. So definitely on the front line in the trenches, trying to navigate this crazy situation here.
Brandon, I know Dima's probably got a question there, but I had a quick impression for you. If this was phase 2's plans.
Yep. Out.
Yeah.
I've done that many days. Just throw them out. Start over.
Yeah. I can't believe we're in phase 3. I really can't. Oh my goodness. So
Yeah.
So now as an educator with the school and all the planning that you had to go through to start the school, and it was supposed to be virtual initially, and now with phase 3, tell us about what's going on. And it's a lot of changes in a short period of time.
Yes, fortunately I don't have any hair, because if I did, you'd probably see some patches from me pulling it out because of the stress and the anxiety. But for us in my district, we initially went into this school year planning for 100% virtual. We started on September 8th, 100% virtual, all the children in the district working. We put in a lot of time and effort to really prepare for this. We had to invest. We knew that the challenges that existed first, access to devices, access to quality internet, access to the instructional materials, all of those things were of concern. And so our district, in working with everyone, we were able to provide a device for every student that was in need, internet hotspots for everyone that needed. And we worked at the school level and the district level to get them the instructional materials. And so our teachers and our instructional staff spent their summers planning, learning the Google Meet platform, Google Classroom, really putting a lot of effort into growing into the new norm, if you want to call it that, and adapting the classroom spaces and really growing into this new role. And then we had a curveball come with phase 3, and our board has decided to bring our students back. So now within 2 weeks, we can expect to have our students back. And we are now trying to shift gears. And you think about the planning. Yes, we've put in planning and developed the mitigation plans to limit COVID-19 on our campuses. But when you look at it in a real timeline, 2 weeks, we're going to have our babies here, and we're charged with still providing them with the quality education, but at the same time protecting the safety of everyone. Maintaining that safety is going to be crucial. So we are working to try to make sure that we can welcome our kids back, but at the same time, be safe. We miss them. We knew it was inevitable for our babies to come, and I absolutely miss all of my babies. And I'm sure every teacher across the country misses them as well, and was happy to even connect with them, even in the virtual setting. We closed in March. I don't remember the exact date. I want to say 16th or 19th or something like that. We didn't have closure. We were planning end of the year events, fun day, graduation and award ceremonies and all of these things, and getting that closure and the celebrations for all the hard work that we typically do. We didn't have that opportunity. So we're going to do what we have to do to bring our kids back and keep everyone safe. But I think it's crucial that our kids were able to at least connect, even in the virtual setting, with their teachers, because you develop a family-like feel. And that's one thing, we push on my campus is we want you to build relationships first. That's the key point. That's something I preach all the time. I practiced it personally, but we preach this with our staff. Build the relationships. We have to develop that rapport with our kids and all of our stakeholders. Once the relationship is there, you can do wonders. So we're in the midst of the preparation, and I feel like we're in the middle of the tornado getting swirled around. And I had a teacher today who said that one of her friends told her that she felt like she was in the washing machine holding on to the agitator as it was washing, because you feel like you're being tossed around. But, you know, the key thing is you can't let go. We're going to get through this one way or the other. We are going to get through this. And that's the message that we have to push out to everybody, is that it's going to get better. But we all have to do our part to help us get through it, you know.
Wow.
100%. Well, I mean, you mentioned earlier you're a father. You're a father now, and you mentioned, I heard you say babies. So, you know, it sounds like those relationships don't stop, you know, when you step over the welcome mat at the house. They're also at home, you know, at home as well as at work. So, you know, and you're also missing your staff. I'm sure that's probably different too, since you're trying to maybe stay safe there and keep your distance. I mean, so what I'm trying to get at, Brandon, is you mentioned babies a lot, and so now being that father, knowing what it's like, and you've always had a passion for you know, educating children. What does that first day back look like? Because I remember, wasn't it high fives? Wasn't it met with like rows of high fives and the welcome mat? Wasn't it? I remember the mat rolled out. I remember this being a big production. This is going to look different now that this is.
Yeah, it's going to look completely different. You know, one of the things it was a tradition of ours. Every first day of school, we rolled out the red carpet for our kids and welcomed the community and the parents and everyone to come out and cheer them on. And they walked in with music blasting and crowds cheering and high-fiving and hugging. And this is not going to be the case when they come in. We will, you know, try to have a presence to calm them, but help them understand that it's going to be different. And that's the message I think that we're sending out to our parents, is that start preparing your children for school to be very different. They're not going to have the opportunity to do a lot of things that we typically do. Recess will be a different ball game. PE, you will not be able to congregate in the cafeterias for lunch and those sorts of things. You know, we're going to be charged with keeping, as they're calling it, static groups, where the kids will be with that same group of kids all day and not be able to mix and mingle with other children. And so even, you know, transportation, getting the students to and from school is going to be different. We're operating at 75% capacity on the school buses with social distancing. And, you know, siblings will be able to sit together, but they will not be able to sit with their friends or their neighbors and these sorts of things, you know. And it's tough. How do you tell a kid, you can't shake my hand? Because Mr. Singleton is all about high fives, hugging, whatever it is you need to help build that relationship is there. And now we're going to have to do things differently just to maintain that safety. But it's concerning when you think about the ability to adapt to that. It's tough.
Well, the logistics alone sound like a nightmare. I mean, you know, do you have enough PPE? Have we split people up enough? Are kids going to pay attention to the rules? Because, you know, aside from whether or not science is telling us, because I'm sure no matter where you look, you'll see yes or no, or somewhere in between on the news or in media, that your subset of kids technically isn't prone, right, to having adverse effects to COVID, but they transmit it like it ain't nobody's business. So they're asymptomatic, but you know, you have to have all those concerns. I mean, it sounds like you're now in like the food service is off the charts. It's a mixture of, you know, cafeteria and food service plus UPS, because you're having to, you know, I'm sure if they're not bringing their own meals, if you're having to now put them in static groups and deliver them, I mean, and they're not able to go in the cafeteria, right? That's where all their resources and tools, and that's where that staff is set up to be productive and efficient. All that's changing. So you're now having to shift things from being, I guess, room service almost to delivering not just food, but instruction and entertainment and engagement and the social atmosphere. I mean, where are y'all at on the mental health spectrum, man? Because I know there's got to be ways for some of these parents or caregivers or even students to deal with some of these things coming back that seemed so normal before, but we had a 6-month break from the norm.
Yeah. I want to add to that, Rob, because this is so important. Also, in addition to everything you said, is these kids, the household that they're coming from and what they were told. So are they told that this is, there's no pandemic, go do your thing? Does it mean they're going to listen and follow the rules, or are they going to be terrified? So you have a lot on your hand, Brandon, you and your team, because it's not a matter of setting the rules. This topic is political. This topic, there's a lot of emotion about it. There's a lot of conflicting views as well. So you're going to have these kids come to school, and some will follow the rules, but others, you may get resistance, not just from them, but from their parents. And how would you deal with that?
Yeah, those are those situations that I don't think you can really plan for. You know, we go through so much planning. Today, I just had to get out of the office and I walked the campus trying to think of things that we may not have on paper. But it's those situations that you hope that you are not presented with, but it would be foolish not to look at them and not prepare yourself for them. The small things of how do you allow children to go to the restroom? You know, there are so many layers to the onion, and you just keep peeling and you keep peeling and you keep peeling and you keep peeling. And with every layer, it's a different problem that you have to solve, you know, and go through. So I urge everybody out there listening, if you know or are close to anyone who is in the education field, be kind to them, reach out to them, pray for them, because we are dealing with a situation that is like no other. You mentioned something that is really important, and that's the mental, the social emotional side of not only the kids but everyone. In our district, we're fortunate we invested in a social emotional curriculum for our staff members to be able to work with our children, and even our staff members to kind of deal with that side of it, because like you said, for a child, children are creatures of routine. And since March, that routine has just been dismantled. And we don't know what goes on inside the walls of everyone's home. Some of our children are facing things that some adults wouldn't even fathom or wouldn't even be able to handle. And so you think about how they are missing out on so much structure and that sense of, I have something going, this is my thing. Going to school is my thing, and I'm going to own it and I'm going to rock it out. And now that's taken away from me. This is going to be huge. And so bringing our children back alone is going to have a very positive effect, we hope, on the social emotional side of everyone. But dealing with the challenges and all of the changes could also have that adverse effect. So pray for your educators and reach out to them and see what they need and give them your support. And even if there's any parents that are listening, you may be inconvenienced just a little bit because the routines are having to change. Car rider lines, pick up and drop off lines are going to take longer. They're going to be longer because we're encouraging parents to drop the kids off. Patience goes a long way, and it's going to be needed moving forward. And you know, we live in a society of entitlement. Everybody wants it their way. They want it right now. You're going to hear what I have to say, and I want you to deliver, but we have to be patient. Everybody is trying to adapt to all of the changes. We're trying to adapt to do what is best for all the stakeholders. And we're not always going to get it right, but I promise you, educators across the world are spending hours and hours and hours planning and preparing, and that didn't work. Like, you took that paper, Rob, and you threw it. Going back to the drawing board, trying to find ways to reach our kids and to do what's right. So I don't know how you really prepare for that, but one thing is for sure is that I have to keep telling myself, you signed up for this. You signed up to be an educator and to lead our children and your staff to the next level. And I can't give up. As much as it is easy to throw your hands up and say, I quit, I give up, this is too much. I have to keep my feet on the ground and really remember why I'm here, why I chose this role, why I sit in the chair that I sit in and wear the hats that I do. And it's because of my staff, and it's because of my children and my community that are depending on me to really do what is best. And through it all, I have to maintain that, as the leader of the school, you sometimes have to mask. And Rob, I'm sure you see it as the boss. You have to mask your emotions. You have to hide that anxiety because they're feeding off of your energy. If they sense that you're stressed and anxious, they're going to have that same feel. And I'm human. I don't always do it well. I try to be a transparent leader and let them know when I'm feeling a certain way, but you have to set the tone. And I'm trying to set the tone for my staff that together, we're not going to be perfect, but we're going to keep walking and we're going to keep pushing, and we'll get through it somehow.
That brings me to so many points because you said so many things, and then it brought me to something that Adrian said last week that I have not been able to get out of my brain since that show. And the first thing is, you said how it's just going to be different. Well, I remember how much of a transformation I had. And it's weird how this message was for sort of like inclusion and diversity and a little bit of tolerance and acceptance, but it's not good, it's not bad, it's just different. And that whole framing of that changed my entire mindset, right? It's not good, it's not bad, it's just different. And I think the guy who said that was Harold Swear, who taught me emergenetics, and he shared that with us, and I thought it was amazing. The other one is what Adrian said last week, because y'all are being dependent on in so many different ways as educators, as leaders, your parents to these kids when they're at the care. Now you're in healthcare, you're in operations, logistics. Whatever else you were doing on top of your already difficult job, to deal with that adversity is something that came to mind with what Adrian Owen said last week. Was she said, assume positive intent. And so when we're all frustrated and we're all worried about, the lines are going to look longer, things that we have to exercise some patience. If you understand the expectations are that it's going to be different, it's not good or bad, just different. And then you're assuming the positive intent of someone else that's in a line ahead of you, or that teacher that's trying to do a damn good job with the resources they have in a very limited amount of time. When you take all that into consideration, it kind of lends a little bit of flex there, a little bit of flexibility to the situation and to the people that are trying to just do the best they can. So you hit on so many things there. It just brought me back to those things that I keep replaying in my mind. And Adrian's been with those earworms from last week since last Wednesday. So I just had to share.
I like that. I'm gonna steal that. So
steal it. It's not mine.
Yes, sir.
Oh
So
man.
when you said they're doing the best that they can, it's even more than that because they're afraid for their health. They're worried about their children. They may need someone to watch their children as they have to go back to school. So there's just so many different elements. And like Brandon, I just met you less than an hour ago, but I can tell you, like from the way you talk, I can see what it looks like to be a servant leader, and I see how passionate you are about what you're doing. It is so aligned with your purpose. So I know these kids are in good hands because you are leading the school and you're doing your best. So I just want to compliment you for that because it's coming across so clearly.
Thank you. Thank you. I truly believe that I am doing what I was created to do in life, and I'm lucky for that. And not many people have the opportunity to do a job that they love. And I have my days where it sucks and I don't like the job some days, but God always has a way of sending you that reminder of this is why you're here. And when you take those little reminders, and I think having this conversation tonight is good for me because the past few days have been really tough and really trying. And so sometimes you need a little kick to have that paradigm shift and get back in the groove. So I appreciate your compliment. Very much needed for sure.
You're welcome. And we're so thankful you're giving us an hour of your time. Sounds like you're so busy. I'm sure you're not spending enough time with your family. So thank you.
I try to turn off school when I get home. I try to devote that time to them because, recently about 8 o'clock, 8:30, I'm ready for bed now because we get home, we're mentally exhausted. And so I try to maximize all of my time with the family and rejuvenate for another day on the battlefield. And that's just what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you got to keep doing it too. So
That's
I know
right.
we appreciate it. If you're out there watching, definitely assume positive intent and show some gratitude to a teacher, show some gratitude to a caregiver that's out there doing the best they can, a parent, whomever is trying. It doesn't matter what end you are on that connection, right? Or the end of that screen. That's something that, at least we're able to share right now between all of us. This is an experience you don't often get. So if you can look at it like that too, yeah, it's going to be different and expectations might be low, but we're just going to try and keep hopes high.
That's
and
right.
So, I imagine you have to put that face on a lot, brother. We talked about it earlier, put on the mask. Dima, how many times do you have to get up and do a talk when either you may not have the energy before or, maybe something's going on? Because let's be real, stuff can happen in the personal life that can also affect what's in front of you that you need to do on the day-to-day. So, we all sort of have to wear a mask to an extent, but it's also to like what extent and how long do we have to wear it where it's unhealthy?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Like I have situations where I'm like, I'm just not in the mood to motivate anybody right now.
That's hard.
I need someone to motivate me. So I get it. But like wearing the mask, that's a tricky phrase. I don't know. I don't know if like now I'm thinking about it. So I don't know if I agree with the concept of wearing the mask because to me it comes across as very like negative, trying to suppress our feelings. So I don't have a solution to tell you of how we should deal with it differently because I'm just thinking about it right now. But maybe is to shift the thinking from wearing a mask to reconnecting with our purpose. And that's what Brandon was talking about earlier, where he said that anytime things get difficult, he realizes that this is what he's supposed to be doing. So instead of wearing a mask, is to remind yourself of your why. Why are you doing this? And what is the impact you're going to do? Because there's a lot of danger of putting that mask and then suppressing your feelings, and buried emotions never die. They pop up as other things.
Yeah, that's a good point because it's very easy to lose sight of who you are. When you're in a stressful and intense situation, it's very easy to lose that. And you have to remember that and what's your why. I start every interview when I'm interviewing individuals. That's my first question is, what's your why? You know, what brings you here today? I want to know what motivates you, what drives you. And so that's a key thing, not to lose sight of what's here. That adaptability is crucial.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So adaptability in terms of normal education horizon, you know, minus a few hurricanes, pandemic, you know, things like this and that, you know, just general shout outs to your team or to someone who supports you. Do you have any of those that you want to give? I mean, I imagine the 6 months since probably it was announced that March 13th, you know, when I think JBE said it in his press conference, things kind of changed. Do you have any shout outs you want to give to folks over the last 6-something months that have just done a great job that need some gratitude?
Of course. Well, you know, my inner circle has been so important throughout this process. And I gave them their shout out earlier, my wonderful family. But even beyond that inner circle, beyond my parents, my mom and dad, and my mother-in-law have been the caretakers for BJ when we're out back in the front lines. You know, we are fortunate enough to have them because we're just not comfortable with, you know, he's 8 months. And so it's during this time to have him in a comfortable environment, the safest environment for him at this time. We've been blessed to have that, but even greater, I work with an amazing team of individuals. We have teachers and support staff and on down to the cafeteria staff, to the bus drivers, to the custodians who have been nothing but amazing. You know, they show a huge shout out to all of the staff of Grolee Elementary, but even St. Landry Parish. We have some dedicated individuals who are giving it their all day in and day out to do what's best for children. And we have to remember that. But even my wonderful group of friends, you know, I haven't seen my friends in person. Rob, I don't even know the last time I've seen you in person. When you came to the hospital for BJ? That may be the last time, but you know, we started doing the Zoom calls and have been able to catch up a little bit. So it's important to really stay connected as best as you can, even though we can't be there in the physical all the time. You have to stay connected. So I have to just thank all those individuals and thank educators everywhere who, you know, throughout this pandemic, we have seen educators from across the world begin to connect. We're always stressing networking, collaboration, and to see people take to social media. And I mean, Rob, you're married to an educator, so I'm sure you've seen it. The Facebook groups and the social media groups that have formed with educators, sharing resources, especially adapting to the virtual side. The Bitmoji classroom,
the Google classrooms, Bitmoji classrooms,
all of those things. You've seen all the resources come through, and so that was a positive that came from this, and get parents more involved in the educational process and increase the accountability for parents in the home. And look at what we have.
Yeah.
Parents sitting on the couch behind their kids while they're doing their work. You know, as I'm hopping in Google Meets throughout the day, just trying to support my teachers and help them navigate through the virtual world, because we're operating virtually right now. I'm seeing countless parents in the background, giving them the materials that they need, keeping them on task, tapping on the table. Look, you need to pay attention. Come back. This is, that's the silver lining of it all. Really getting an understanding of what we do day in and day out, because it's tough when you drop your kids off to school. You may not know what fully happens from the time they're there till you pick them up and you get, how was your day? It was fine. You don't get the details. So being able to get that insight of learning who your teacher is and what is happening in that classroom, that has been a beauty of this. And I hope that as we move forward, that educators, that everyone out there has a fonder appreciation for the job that we do as educators. Sometimes we are overlooked and we get a lot of negativity sometimes as educators because it may not be done in the way that our stakeholders want it. But at the end of the day, I hope that they have a greater appreciation and understanding of what we're doing. And regardless of what it is, we're going to continue and we're going to push forward. But you got to look for the silver lining, and that appreciation is what I hope that continues for our educators.
Well, you said accountability too, and I hope that's on every level possible with everything from this point forward. We might have ourselves a guest coming up here. Hello.
I agree about appreciation.
Hello,
Everyone now that they have kids, they're getting a taste of how tough it is to keep these kids focused and how to continue to teach them. So any parent that is homeschooling, I think they have a perspective about what teachers have to go through.
That's right. It is not easy, and my hat goes off to the parents that have had to completely rearrange their lives. I spoke to a parent today who was concerned about moving forward with her students, and she informed me that she has had to quit her job in order to provide the stable environment for her kids to work virtually. People are sacrificing and doing what they have to do to get the job done as parents, and you do that as a parent, and we appreciate that. And so hats off to all the moms and the dads and the grandparents and the daycare owners and all these individuals who have had to accommodate students working virtually. Yeah. It isn't easy, and we've tried to support as best as we can. I have gone through myself and my staff, helping individuals log into Google Classroom. I made a joke the other day. I said, I need to get a check from Google because we have been helping them do all of these things, but everybody is trying. At the end of the day, you really see the sense that everyone is trying, and the accountability there, man, Rob, is off the charts. Everybody has to step up and do that.
I hope we remember that too, because it's going to be really easy to forget it. We saw a few times we forgot it during COVID. We saw when there was, when phase 2 got extended and everyone was all upset because we weren't in phase 3 6 weeks ago. So it's really easy to forget and go back to just living in the frustrated realm where, we're temporarily displaced now. Mm-hmm. Everything that I've seen from almost every educator, every administration for the most part, and especially a shout out to the students, to these kids, and how resilient they are to adapt on the fly to all this, because it's really easy to be unpopular, unfavorable opinion when it isn't done your way, right? Yeah. Or when we're not meeting expectations of this thing we've never dealt with in 100 years. So I think it's important to realize that it's really easy to forget that we've been temporarily displaced, and it's inconvenient, it's frustrating, yes, but that's on all sides. And if we're feeling that is on this end of virtual school, I imagine the educators with the compliance, with the regulations, with all the training, with the limited resources, limited pay, and lack of support overall. I can imagine that that's something where it we don't quite see it from another angle, and it's really easy to forget that. So I really hope that everyone really continues to support their educators long after we send our kids back to school. Let's continue to offer them the support year round, like we think they should get, and like our kids deserve. But
Right.
if we can't support our educators and give them the resources over time, I mean, the frustration's gonna show eventually. So I really think it's hard to maintain gratitude, but I think it's something important and critical that we do.
Yeah. I really do hope that it continues. Society just needs to be a little bit kinder, a little bit more pleasant and positive. We're living in a time right now where there's a lot of divide going on right now, and through a crisis and a pandemic, it's my prayer too that we start seeing individuals come together on all levels, and embracing one another and doing what's right for humanity. At the end of the day, we are seeing so much happen in our world. I mean, dealing with the natural disasters, hurricanes, we're now seeing individuals, while we're dealing with our crisis, having to deal with yet another layer of it.
Yeah.
We got some students that are moving into our district from the Lake Charles area who are displaced because they are not able to go to school. And so we're juggling a lot in the world, and the greater appreciation and the positivity and the positive mindset is needed. It's needed across the board, top to bottom.
Yeah, there have been a lot of lessons for all of us this year. It's been a tough year, and just like you said, there's layers and layers, and it's a matter of continuing to think what do we need to learn from this individually, but also as humanity. And we usually end up with the same lesson, right? Like, be kind, be compassionate, be grateful, all of this, but it's easy to forget them. It's
so easy.
Yeah. So it's a lesson. And that's when we, like Rob and I, we talk about resilience, and we've been talking a lot with our guests about it. A big part of resilience is learning, like learn and grow. And it's a matter of not forgetting. And at the end of the day, it's a matter, right, also about the connection. Like, imagine how we are missing the human connection. And that's why Rob and I, we started this. But I hope when we get connected again, for us to continue to appreciate it.
Yeah. And I have to applaud you guys. I mean, you the work that you guys are doing with this show is powerful. You're giving individuals to share the work within their realm, but you're connecting it to everyday life, and to where everyone who even sitting in this chat, anyone who is not an educator is you're able to take something away, and hopefully digest it, and like you said, grow from it. And that's the beauty of this. So I applaud you guys, and I appreciate it. This is wonderful. Keep it up. I hope you continue this on a greater scale moving forward.
Definitely. I mean, this all started out of a connection, but it really has. It's just grown to thrive. And where it is, I can't wait to see where it goes. But it's been just as much of a learning opportunity as much as it was an opportunity to connect. I mean, every single time we get to hear a different perspective, I feel like I already hold Dima way up here, and I know that I feel like I'm growing, and we keep talking about we're both growing. So I just see us continuing to learn from these different vantage points, because we can often get caught in a parallax where our viewpoint looks as if it's not skewed, when in fact it is. It's not as straight and dead on or clear as we once thought. It could have some curve to it. And just switching your different angle or viewpoint allows us to just learn so much more. So this is as much as of a connection and opportunity to grow as it is to learn from such amazing leaders in this community. To also bring awareness to it too, because we have a lot of people that maybe didn't know about the 3 o'clock project, or didn't know how far you could stretch your food dollar when we talk to someone at the food bank, or right now putting it in perspective of someone who's on the other end of what most of us are seeing, and imagining what it's like from educator to caregiver. So I think the connection here is important. I think how you touched on that is great, but it's something we all need, and I really hope we continue the flexibility. It seemed like really early on in COVID, right, Dima? Really early on, everyone was so willing to be okay with, that's just not right. Things are crazy now, but we seem to, over time, just a short amount of time, get complacent with where we were and wish it was back too soon, maybe, or not realize that there's still some things at play that kind of complicate the issue. So it's just very easy to forget.
Yeah. I think of you that height too.
Oh, but I'm not. I'm only 5'10". Probably should.
The hair gives you a couple of more inches up there.
Yes. I need to take that new.
That's yeah. I am 4. I'm 5'4". So yeah.
Love
it. Well, is there anything else you want to say, B? I mean, what else is on your mind? What's going down? What else can we talk about?
Man, it's I don't know. We've hit on a lot, and I'm sitting here and I'm reflecting on my role here, and the conversation we've had, and how I'm growing into my role as a father. That's where my mind is going here, and I'm thinking about. We talked about wearing the mask and the hats that we wear, and I'm looking at the responsibilities of being a father. It really puts you into a different mind frame. I mean, I turned 40 this year, so I'm getting into fatherhood a little bit late. But it definitely shifts into a different realm when you become a father. Everyone would say, "Oh, it's a feeling like you've never had before," and it really is. And to see when I walk into, after a long day of juggling all of these things, just to see the look on his face when he sees me and melts my heart, and it's like this is another reason why we do what we do. And so I'm going to continue to grow and walk forward into that journey.
Hey, that's
my man.
So cute.
Oh my God.
There is my man. I'm not sure if he's still awake yet.
He's wearing a Saints shirt.
I'm sorry. I should have asked permission.
That's fine. You're a proud uncle. You're a proud uncle.
Oh, he is so
Look at that man right there.
That's my little man.
Oh my God. So cute.
And Uncle Rob bought him that outfit right there. So.
Oh, you did?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, and then when you mentioned at the beginning of our call that he's 8 months old, I automatically started doing the calculations. So he was 2 months when the pandemic started. And as you also mentioned, that it's a life-changing experience. You're different because of that, like being a father. But I can only imagine how terrifying it was. Like here you have this new beautiful baby coming to the world. Is he gonna join us?
He's gonna join us. Yes.
Oh, this is so great.
What? I need some snacks. Where are my snacks? Need to get some snacks.
Hi.
Hey.
Maybe it's time to play Peekaboo.
Say hello.
Peekaboo.
Is she doing
my goodness.
Peekaboo.
Say hello.
DJ, you're growing up too fast.
Hello. Uncle Rob and Miss Dima.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, you are adorable.
That's a handsome man right there.
Yes.
DJ, Give Daddy a big old hug for me, okay? Give him a big hug. Big squeeze around that neck.
Yes,
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
yes.
Look, I didn't ask for that, but I'll take it. I'll take that.
You're up late, dude. You're up late.
Yeah, he's fighting it.
It's your bedtime.
It is. It definitely is your bedtime. You got a little treat. You got a little treat tonight getting on air.
Oh,
yes, you are on Facebook Live. It can't get better than that.
Yeah, that's the reason right there.
Oh,
Lady killer alert. I don't have a graphic for that. I wish I could put up a graphic for that.
He has a protective mother and an even more protective father.
Oh, yeah. You know, sis has got that on lockdown, and no one's going to penetrate the forces. Like, nope.
That's right.
Nope.
Yeah.
Sis is going to take care of him. Oh, my goodness.
Definitely.
That was a treat.
I'm glad he was up.
I was surprised. I could hear him fighting in the other room there. So he got a reprieve to get out the bedroom to come.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
That was a treat.
Yeah, that's the highlight of the show.
Mm.
Did we get more viewers because he made an appearance?
We did, and I think we have a request for him to be a guest. Our youngest guest ever.
We'll bring him back in a few years.
Right? Yes, youngest guest ever. Yes, he is.
Awesome.
Youngest guest ever.
All right, DJ, making history.
Well, look, on Chit Chat, let's kind of go there for a second. He got a chance to be on the show for a second. If he gets to watch this, and let's just say like 7 years, he can kind of understand a little bit about what Dad's saying. What kind of message can Dad leave future BJ's self right now?
No matter what, figure out your why, live it, and never give up. You're going to be tossed in a million different directions, and things may not always go as you want them to go. But no matter what, keep your feet on the ground and keep walking forward. You can handle the burdens of whatever is presented to you. You may have to position yourself a little bit differently to dodge some obstacles and cross over and crawl under. But no matter what, adapt and keep moving forward, not backwards. Forward. That's the key thing.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes. Love. Uncle Rob's gonna say, find some really good friends that'll go to war for you, buddy.
I'll go to war for you. Yes.
Love that.
Definitely.
Oh man, this was a good one. Dima, what are some takeaways from today? Where is this leaving you? Where's the close of the show kind of bringing you today when you have to collect your thoughts?
I feel I'm at a high. So right now it is my favorite show for the
BJ did it all.
All of our guests are amazing, and I'm so thankful that you made time. But I'll tell you my takeaway. So I'm the person who teaches people about how to be leaders. I'm the one who stands on the stage and motivates people to be better leaders. And tonight I saw one, and I spoke to one, and I feel so grateful for that, because like when you were speaking, Brandon, I could hear the voice of what I'm teaching people how to be. I was seeing how I was what I'm teaching people to be. So it's amazing. And I feel we're all so grateful and fortunate to have you as part of our community to teach, to help the kids, to help the parents. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep moving forward.
Thank you. Greatly appreciate it. And that's what I've been charged to do. And I signed up for it, and we're gonna chart and work our way through this, and we're gonna get to the other side one way or the other. We may not always be successful. we're going to make some mistakes, and we're going to even fail at some point, but we're going to continue, and not just in the education field, but in the world in general. We're gonna make it through this, but we need everybody to do their part. Abide with the safety guidelines that are being put out. Wear your mask, people. Come on, wear your mask. Do your part, and support one another. Not just educators, but everyone on the front line. A simple thank you. A smile, a nod, that those things go a long way for anyone that's out there putting their lives and their families' lives at jeopardy day in and day out to maintain the life that we live. Something so simple as that cashier at the grocery store, the mail I mean, all the people out there working and dedicating themselves. Be a little bit kinder. Be a little bit more patient and help us get through this. We can do it.
Yeah. And my other takeaway is, Rob, the paper you threw at the beginning of the chit chat, you may bring it back, because we may need to have people go back online.
Yeah.
So who knows? Who knows? It's just who knows if it's going to work, or if we need to change things and go back online. So what's your takeaway, Rob?
Where my head's at is, I've always known that there was a depth to Brandon that sort of there were a few things that stood out to me when I first met Brandon, because the first time I met Brandon, he was wearing like this faded yellow polo shirt that you would normally wear around Easter time. But I wanted one of those polos, and I liked Brandon from afar. But I always knew that there was a depth to him, and I always thought he was so polished. So just from a friend standpoint tonight, none of this really surprises me. It doesn't faze me. This is the person who I love, and I choose to be in my circle. When we talked to Beverly Brooks Thompson, she said, find people that are in your circle. And I know her circle. Her circle's tight. Her circle's made up of a depth of people that I get to call my friends too. So having Brandon on the show tonight is just a reminder of how I am so lucky and blessed to surround myself with amazing people in these squares tonight, and squares that you're watching through as well as a viewer. But I'm still sort of always appreciative of what Brandon brings to the table, and I've always found him to be extremely polished, extremely controlled. And when I look at him, I think nothing else than a leader who has probably seen some tough times and knows how to channel those into good times for others. So that's why tonight is special, because I get to share that. And I'm just so glad that I got to see your face, my friend, and also BJ. Oh, wow. What a treat.
Forget about me. BJ stole the show.
I mean, there was BJ.
It's a cute baby. What can you expect, right?
Oh, he's adorable.
Can't compete. But Rob, seriously, you are one of my dearest friends, and you said that you've always looked up to me, but I've always looked up to you. Especially, you growing into your role as a father. I still remember that first time I got to meet Myra and at the hospital, and seeing that pride in your eyes, and so one day I'm going to experience that. And so greatly appreciate it, man.
And I got to see it from the other end, man. And then me and Drew got lost and had to walk around the long end of the hospital. Let me tell you, that's a long trip. That's a long trip. Wow.
Don't get lost.
Don't get lost on the wrong end of a hospital, y'all.
It's Drew's fault.
Stay safe. Stay safe when doing so.
Blame it on Drew.
It's always his fault.
Always.
Love seeing him on here tonight too. Well, look, we got some fellow ambassadors with some yellow polos for life. And brother, this has been awesome. Thanks for sharing the night with us. Go spend the rest of your time with your family as much as you can. And, I know you have a busy day, busy week, and lots of things to plan for. So that's all for me. Dima, anything to say before we head out?
No, It was amazing to spend time with you, Brandon. Thank you for your time. And
You're
thank
so
you
welcome.
for motivating us to be better people.
Thank you, guys. I enjoyed this and look forward to connecting with you guys again in the future. Keep up the good work.
You too.
Looking forward to it. Later, everybody. See you again next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Take it easy, B. Give the fam my love. Everybody stay safe.
Take care.